Alright, I just got back from filming some content at Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally, and before I show you some of the footage we got, I want to dig into what's going on inside the arena right now. We just saw Rudy Giuliani get a standing ovation only days after he had his apartment taken away from him because he defamed people over voting fraud allegations that were false. We also saw comedian Tony Hinchcliffe speak and say some vaguely racist stuff or very racist stuff. Let's break all of this down, and with 9 days to go, we have no time to waste. Drop a like, subscribe, and let's just jump in with Ron Filipkowski's tweet letting you know what you're about to see. So far, the speakers of the Trump rally have been a disgusting racist who trashed Jews, Latinos, and black people, a drunk disbarred guy under indictment who just lost everything in a lawsuit, and an unhinged Christian nationalist who called Harris the Antichrist. You'll never guess which is which. I'll show you right now. The first speaker was Tony Hinchcliffe from the podcast Kill Tony. Now, this guy is a comedian who tried to do a stand-up bit at a Trump rally, but I guess his approach was just be as racist as possible. Listen to this clip.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there.
You know, there's an interesting dynamic here, because I think that edgy jokes are oftentimes okay in the right setting. I like watching shows like Family Guy, edgy shows, but when you're going to go to a Trump rally and make a racist, edgy joke to a crowd that is racist, it is not a joke anymore. You are just being racist. It's like when I'm watching Family Guy and there's a joke in the show, I know that the show is making fun of racist people in America. I know that Seth MacFarlane, the creator, is a liberal who is making fun of these people, but if I'm watching with my MAGA friend, he's laughing at the racist joke. He's laughing at a different thing that I'm laughing at, and that's what's happening here. The people in this crowd are laughing at what's supposed to be a joke, but it's not a joke. They are all laughing at straight up racism, and it is racism. I hope I explained that well. In this next clip, Caitlin Collins explains how days after being told he must hand over his New York City apartment, valuable watches, signed Joe DiMaggio jersey, and 1980 Mercedes to the two Georgia election workers he defamed, Rudy Giuliani gets a standing ovation at Madison Square Garden. There's actually a really potent point to be had here. Only the MAGA movement can rehabilitate actual criminals with a plethora of evidence that they committed crime after crime after crime. But if you become MAGA, all of a sudden, you're very well liked. You actually have a fan base. And we see this time and time again. You know, the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, they had all of these sex trafficking charges come out, so they become straight up MAGA. Many people say that Elon Musk might have done some crazy things, so he's becoming MAGA so he can retain the audience. Rudy Giuliani commits crime after crime after crime, yet he's a MAGA sweetheart. I honestly think if Harvey Weinstein would have put a MAGA cap on right before he got arrested and charged, all of MAGA would have held him up as some hero who's being swatted down by the media. Didn't Donald Trump recently say that Harvey Weinstein was schlonged by the media? I mean, these people just like to rehabilitate anybody who can be vaguely anti-establishment, which is absolutely insane. I bet you if Diddy put on a MAGA cap, he would totally get their support. You know, at the MAGA rally, I kept talking to them about divisive rhetoric. I was asking them if the enemy from within rhetoric is something they think Trump should be using, if he should stay away from that, and they were all telling me Democrats are the ones who use the inflammatory rhetoric. Democrats are the ones calling Trump Hitler, calling Trump a fascist. And I would always point out, didn't J.D. Vance say he was a Hitler? Didn't his general, four-star general Mark Milley say he's fascist to the core? But here is a prime example of the type of apocalyptic rhetoric that has gotten us to this point.
She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fucking party, a bunch of degenerates. Low-lives, Jew haters, and low-lives. Every one of them. Every one of them.
All right, I'm glad all those people I just talked to and tried to build a relationship with are now cheering on the guy saying that I'm a low-life Jew hater. What else did he say? Scumbag? I don't know. He said a lot of things. I don't care. But, I mean, I talked to a few of these people today, and now they're cheering for this type of rhetoric, which is absolutely disturbing. Watch this clip of me talking to a Kim Jong-un and Trump impersonator, and, you know, the bit's pretty funny. Just take a look.
Yes, my good friend Putin, good friend of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We're going to make sure he wins so that my good friend can take over Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
And after Ukraine, he will take Moldova and all the countries that used to be the USSR. Mm-hmm. And Russia shall be great again.
Why not all of Europe? Just take all of Europe.
That's the second step.
Well, first off, I'm going to make Iran into a parking lot. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to take care of Taiwan and protect it. and then we'll go to war with him, and I will come out on top as always.
Is this while you're doing a bloody deportation of 20 million
It's gonna
immigrants?
be unbelievable. They're very little people. They're very little, the Venezuelan gangs.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to make the wall smaller so I can throw them back over.
Yeah.
So the vibe that I got is this Kim Jong-un impersonator is actually a liberal out there trolling the Trump supporters. He was saying stuff verbatim like, Trump is going to take Ukraine. We're going to let Trump take Ukraine. And I could tell this guy doesn't actually want Trump to do that. He's trying to play into the bit. So I played it to him. So why not all of Europe? Why doesn't he just take over the whole entire world? There's going to be more extended footage coming out, but I just wanted to give you guys a little taste. I do want to show you guys something that happened while I was out filming that is absolutely absurd. Stick around for this because Jake Tapper and JD Vance did an interview, and Jake Tapper begins to laugh in JD Vance's face at multiple points. Watch this clip where Jake Tapper asks one of my favorite questions. I ask this at every Trump rally. I say, so all of these people, Mike Pence, Bill Barr, Mark Meadows, lifelong Republicans, you think they're going after Donald Trump? Just watch.
All those 10 people, including the former vice president, Mike Pence, all of these people have this horribly damaged worldview, and they're all just going after Donald Trump because they want to send people into war?
I say this every single Trump rally. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I love to point out how Donald Trump has successfully sowed distrust in everybody around him.
That's really your argument?
Absolutely.
It's not like these are conservative.
Absolutely, that's my
These
argument.
are not conservative
Jake,
Republicans. These aren't conservative Republicans who are concerned about Donald Trump. They're not. That's not right.
All of these people, Jake, they came into office thinking that they could control Donald Trump. That when he said he wanted peace in the
Mike
world,
Pence thought he could control Donald Trump?
Yes, he did. And when he found out, when he found out that he couldn't, they all turned on Donald Trump, and a lot of them got fired. And we're running, and we're trying to staff the government with people who are going to govern according to principles of peace and prosperity.
Peace and prosperity. People who are going to govern. That is rich. But I love the moment when Jake Tapper is just like, really?
That when he said he wanted peace in the
Mike
world,
Pence thought he could control Donald Trump?
Yes, he did. And when he found out that when he found out that he couldn't, they all turned on Donald Trump, and a lot of them got fired. And we're running.
Okay, so the interview gets more absurd as it goes. This is honestly performance art at some point. I saw a tweet that put it perfectly. Somebody said, you know, JD Vance is just as articulate and just as energetic as Jake Tapper. It's not that he's less articulate than Jake Tapper, but he's doing performance art in this clip. He knows that what he's saying is wrong. He knows that he is running defense for a movement that is the antithesis of what America stands for, yet he is actually grifting. Not even for money, but I think for power at this point. He's trying to grift his way through the ladder of politics, and he does that by performance art. And the same thing with Vivek Ramaswamy. They are putting on performances.
What you're talking about is an anonymously sourced story, or one guy
Nothing anonymously sourced.
or who one guy who is a disgruntled employee.
I told
where
you 10 people
pushed back against him and said that what he said was dishonest. So why don't we talk about the policy that's affecting American citizens and not what Donald Trump allegedly said, according to one guy who's pissed off because he got fired by Donald Trump?
I didn't bring up any of the things that he said. He said I didn't bring up.
Brought up John Kelly, and that I just described.
I brought up John Kelly's view of Donald Trump. I didn't bring up John Kelly talking about what Donald Trump said about Hitler's generals. I didn't bring that up. I talked about John Kelly's view of Trump based on something Trump has been saying in the last week. So that's what I asked about.
So John Kelly makes accusations that are rejected by 5 people.
Again, you're talking about something I didn't bring up.
I think that maybe implicates his overall judgment. And I think the fact that he has a worldview that's so oppositional to peace and prosperity suggests that he's not an honest arbiter.
Okay, not an honest arbiter. This is pissing me off for a few reasons. Number one, because I just got back from the Trump rally. Now I understand fully. I mean, I understood before, but I can see exactly where their talking points come from. But JD Vance is intentionally lying right here. JD Vance is lying, and a lot of the people I was talking to genuinely believe what he's saying. They believe what the former president says, and they believe what his vice presidential pick says. So these people have been tricked. They've been misled, and a lot of them do genuinely believe this stuff, but it's coming from JD Vance tricking them purposefully. So everything JD Vance just said about, 5 people rebuked it, said it didn't happen, I heard those same talking points at the MAGA rally. They're being intentionally tricked by people like JD Vance. Here's Tapper calling out Trump for saying stuff about the enemy from within.
And you'd much rather talk about what Donald Trump allegedly said than what Donald Trump did in office. What he did in office, Jake,
what he said publicly.
1.5% inflation.
The military to go after the enemy within, which is the American people.
He did not say that, Jake.
The enemy
he
within?
said that he was going to send the military after the American people. Show me the quote where he said
he was going
that.
to. He said the enemy within.
He said far-left lunatics. He's talking
Like
about
the
people
Pelosi's
rioting.
and Schiff.
He's talking about people rioting after the election. I think
The
that we should
Pelosi's were
send-
rioting after the election?
He said
Adam Schiff was
using
rioting after
two
the
separate-
election?
You're using two separate phrases. He said about using the military that far-left lunatics, people who riot in the wake of an election, people who burn down American cities in the summer of 2020, yes, we should have a federal law enforcement
This is what
response.
he said to Joe Rogan on Friday. The enemy within that he wants the military to go after.
No, this is
the enemy
thing.
within, a
You
bigger
impute-
problem than
you
Kim
impute
Jong-un.
the second part.
We have people that are really bad people that I really think want to make this country unsuccessful. That's who the enemy within.
Again, Slippery Vance not even able to answer simple questions. It's like he's doing a different interview. Also, again, when I was talking to these MAGA people at the rally, they're always the ones saying Democrats are divisive, but in the next breath, they'll say we should deport 15 million people, even if it's bloody. Democrats are groomers who want to turn all the kids trans. I mean, their beliefs about Democrats are inherently divisive. This next Trump supporter says Kamala Harris is the devil. She's the Antichrist, and it seems like his blood pressure is raising while he says it. And after I play this clip, I want to show you what the devil is saying in Philadelphia.
In fact, she is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist.
Oh yeah, not divisive at all. What's the Antichrist up to?
In this together, we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we are going to fight for the country we love. And that is why we are all here together, because we love our country.
Yep.
We love our country. And you gotta fight for the thing you love. You gotta fight for the thing you love. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, the expression of the love of our country, to then fight for its ideals. It is the highest form of patriotism, and one of the most powerful ways we do that is with our vote.
Just incredibly well said. Again, the difference between these two rallies, the same minute this was happening, the very same minute, Byron Donalds was walking on stage to John Cena music. Now, I can't play it due to the copyright, but... Oh, right there, it played for a second. If you can imagine, just John Cena, the music playing, while this dude's walking out, it's a WWE event. They are trying to turn politics into some massive sports event. These people were there with a bunch of Trump merch, and when I asked them about policies, they're like, wait, he's a politician? I didn't even know he had policies. Obviously, I'm joking, but they're wearing Trump merch. They know none of his policies because they're there as a sports event. It is really true. Let's watch one final clip of Rudy Giuliani getting super worked up on stage. This is fun.
There's no place in America the president shouldn't be able to come.
I was gonna make a Stormy Daniels joke, but I'll just leave it at that. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you appreciate what I do, drop a like, subscribe. I'm still in New York City, so I'm making videos with some weird lighting for a few hours, but if it doesn't bother you, let me know, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.